Good morning, students. Welcome back to Atmiya Green School. I am Afrin Syed, your English teacher. Today, students, we are learning about a grammar, that is sentences. Sentences are basically group of words. Sentences are basically group of words. When these groups of words come together and they make sense to you, then they form some sentences. Now, part of sentences, there are two part of sentences. First is subject and other is predicate. I'll explain it again, students. When group of words come together to form a sentence and which is meaningful, then it is known as sentence. Now, sentence is made up of two things. There are two things which are part of a sentence. First is subject and other is predicate. Now, as we always do in grammar classes, we watch the video. Along with watching the video, I'll explain. Okay, so let's begin.
Subject and predicate. A complete, simple sentence has a subject and a predicate. All the words in a subject form the complete subject, and all the words in a predicate form the complete predicate. For example, you and I are learning about sentences. Here, you and I form the complete subject, and our learning about sentences form the complete predicate.
Yes, students, basically subject is what are we talking about. I repeat, basically subject is what are we talking about. So here you and I are learning about sentences. So who is learning about sentences? You and I. So you and I are our complete subject, whereas our learning about sentences are complete predicate. I hope you would have understood it.
The subject in a sentence names whom or what the sentence is about.
Look, the subject in a sentence names whom or what the sentence is about. The subject in sentence, what is the subject in a sentence? It is either a name or it takes whom or what the sentence is about. The subject in a sentence is a names whom or what the sentence is talking about.
The complete subject has noun or pronoun or noun phrase.
Yes. A complete sentence have noun, pronoun or noun phrase. A complete sentence has noun, pronoun or a noun phrase. What are noun phrase? Noun phrase are a group of nouns. Okay.
For example, Nikki plays football. Here, Nikki, noun, is subject. We are going out for dinner.
Now, Nikki plays football. So, Nikki is a noun, it is a name and it is a subject. She plays a football. Okay. So, Nikki is a name which is a noun and it is a subject of a sentence. So, here Nikki plays football. So, Nikki becomes your subject.
We are going out for dinner. Here, we, pronoun, is subject.
Over here, we is a pronoun and because it is at the place of noun. So, we is a pronoun and here it is a subject. We are going out for a dinner. Now, we'll talk about noun phrase.
My mother's name is Anupama. Here, my mother's name, noun phrase.
Look, my mother's name is Anupama. I repeat, my mother name is Anupama. Now here my mother's name becomes a noun phrase. Students, basically what are noun phrase? What is noun phrase? So noun phrase is a grammatical function, and it has a phrases often function as a verb, subject, and object and predicative actions. Okay. Now here noun phrase is a nominal, is a phrase that has noun as its head or performs the same grammatical function as a noun. Okay, which performs the same grammatical function like a noun, that is noun phrase. Now if you want to know the definition about noun phrase, then listen carefully, students. It is a group of words, I repeat, it is a group of words that work together to name and describe a person, place, animal or thing. When we look at the structure of writing, we treat a noun phrase the same we treat a common noun. Okay, I repeat, noun phrase is a group of words that work together to name. So it is a group of words that work together to name or either describe a noun, person, place, animal or thing. Then it is a noun phrase. Okay, like the quick brown fox. The quick brown fox becomes noun phrase.
Is subject. The subject does something or is or has something.
The subject does something or is or has something. I repeat, the subject does something or is or has something.
For example, Nikki reads detective stories.
Look students, Nikki reads detective stories. So here Nikki is a subject and reads is your action, that is a way of doing something. Okay, so Nikki is a subject, reads is a action. So what does Nikki reads? Nikki reads detective stories. So Nikki becomes your subject.
Detective stories. Poisonous snakes have fangs.
Now, poisonous snakes have fangs. So, poisonous snakes is a subject, whereas having fangs is a having something, that is to possess something. Okay, I repeat, poisonous snakes have fangs. So, poisonous snakes form a subject, and have fangs is about having something or has something. Okay.
Have fangs. A sentence may also have an object. The object of a sentence comes after the verb in the predicate.
Yes, a sentence may also have an object. Okay, I repeat, a sentence may also have an object. So usually in a sentence we also have an object. The object of a sentence comes after the verb. Now in a sentence there is also presence of object, and object comes after the verb in the predicate.
For example, Meghna washed her car.
Look, Meghna is a subject, washed is a verb, and it after the verb there comes a object, that is her car. So verb plus object forms a predicate. I repeat, verb plus object forms a predicate. So Meghna is a subject, whereas washed her car is a predicate, in which washed is a verb. Why washed is a verb? Because it shows the action, and her car is a object.
In a sentence, the subject is a person or a thing that does the action. In the same sentence,
Yes, what is subject? Subject is something that does the So subject is something that does the action. Now in the same sentence, the object is a person or a thing that receives the action. So one who does the action is a subject, and one who receives the action is a look students, the subject is a person or a thing that does the action. Subject is something who does the action, and the object is something which receives the action. Okay, subject is something that does the action, whereas object is something that receives the action.
Since the object is a person or a thing that receives the action of the subject. For example, Radha feeds the baby.
Radha feeds the baby. So Radha is a noun, feeds is a verb, and the baby is a object. So here Radha feeds the baby. Now feeds the baby becomes your predicate, whereas Radha is your subject.
The object answers the question what or whom.
Object answers the question what or whom. I repeat, objects answer the question what or whom.
For example, the boys played well and won the trophy.
For example, the boys played well and won the trophy. The boys played well and won the trophy.
Here, trophy gives the answer to the question what and thus is the object of the sentence.
In this sentence, trophy is the answer to the question what, and thus it works as an object. As here in the sentence, trophy is an answer to the question what, and thus it works as a object.
The predicate is that part of a sentence that tells what is said of the subject. The complete predicate includes a verb or verb phrase plus all the words after the verb.
Yes, what is complete predicate? It is a verb, verb phrase, or all the words after the verb. Okay. What does complete predicate forms? It forms verb, verb phrase, or all the words after the verb.
For example, Ram the tailor is stitching my dress for the fancy dress competition.
Now look, Ram the tailor forms a noun phrase, and therefore Ram the tailor is a subject.
Here is stitching is the verb phrase,
Yes.
and all the words that follow the verb phrase along with it form the complete predicate.
Yes. Look students. Now as I said that verb phrase after the verbs everything is a object, and that forms a complete predicate form. So my dress for the fancy dress competition forms a complete predicate. So it follows. Sometimes verb is inclusion of the predicate, but even sometimes you can see that it is a it follows the words after it. So is teaching my dress for the fancy dress competition forms a complete predicate.
Verb phrase along with it form the complete predicate. A complete subject has a simple subject, and a complete predicate has a simple predicate. The simple subject is the main noun or pronoun in the complete subject. For example, the ticket checker checked the tickets. Here, the noun ticket checker is simple subject.
The ticket checker checked the tickets. Here ticket checker is your simple subject.
Simple subject. The complete predicate begins with a verb and tells what the subject does, has or is.
Yes, the complete predicate begins with the verb. Always remember, The complete predicate begins with the verb and tells what the subject does, has or is.
The simple predicate is the verb in the complete predicate. For example, we will be traveling together. Here the verb will be traveling is simple predicate.
Yes, we will be traveling together. So will be traveling becomes your simple predicate.
A simple subject and a simple predicate can be more than one word.
Yes,
For
a simple subject and a simple predicate can be more than one word. Therefore, we have used that it can be either verb phrase or it can be either noun phrase.
example, Rajdhani Express was running. Here, Rajdhani Express is the main noun and forms simple subject, and was running is the verb forming the simple predicate.
Rajdhani Express is a simple subject and was running is a simple predicate. I repeat, Rajdhani Express is a simple subject whereas was running was a simple predicate. Okay, I hope you would have understood subject and predicate well. Okay, if you want a revision kind of thing, I'll do it for you students. Let us revise.
A complete sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. For example, people from all nations go to see the Eiffel Tower. In this sentence, people from all nations is the naming part, also called the subject. The subject tells whom or what the sentence is about. The subject is either a noun or a noun phrase. All the words in the subject are together called the complete subject. The other part of the sentence, that is, go to see the Eiffel Tower, is the telling part, also called the predicate.
Go to see the Eiffel Tower. Now you can see go to see is a verb and it forms it is a telling part and therefore it forms a predicate.
The predicate tells something about the subject. It begins with a verb. All the words in the predicate are together called the complete predicate.
Okay, I hope you would have understood it well. Now students will learn the types of sentences. Now let us see types of sentences.
What exactly is a sentence? Sentence is a group of words and it is having three important characteristics. Firstly, it expresses a complete thought or idea. For example, blue sky is the. This is a group of words, but is it conveying any meaning?
Look, blue sky is the. It is also a group of words, but does it make sense? Does it have any kind of meaning? No. Okay, so sentence should be something which should make sense and which should be having a meaning, something which is meaningful.
No. So, it's not a sentence. Now, rearranging the same words, we can get a meaningful sentence. The sky is blue. Now, we get to know about the color of sky from the sentence. And as it is conveying the meaning, it's a sentence.
Look, now the same sentence, the sky is blue, forms the meaning of sentence. It forms the meaning of sentence. Therefore, it is a complete sentence.
As it is conveying the meaning, it's a sentence. Second very important characteristic of a sentence is that it must have a subject and a verb.
it should have a subject and a verb combination.
There's a catch here. Sometimes subject is not given but understandable. For example, put the book there. Here the subject is not given but you is implied subject here. Third and the most important catch, you is
Now, there are sometimes sentences which does not consist of a subject, but they are implied. Implied means it is understandable कि भाई वहाँ पर you का presence होना चाहिए. Like put the book here. Now, if you are standing over there, then you are supposed to put that book over there. Okay. So here you is something which is understandable, which is implied. समझने वाली बात है.
is implied subject here. Third and the most important characteristic of a sentence is that the meaning of any sentence may be different based on different expressions. Now this expression may be of a statement, a question, a command or any exclamation.
Now the third part is a meaning. That is, it consists of either a statement, question, command or exclamation.
Based on different meanings or thoughts, sentences are mainly divided into four types. First, declarative sentences. Second, interrogative sentences. Third, imperative sentences. And fourth, exclamatory sentences.
Types of sentences forms a declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence and exclamatory sentence. So it forms declarative, interrogative, imperative and exclamatory sentences. Now, first of all, we'll learn about declarative sentences.
Let's understand each of them. First, declarative sentences. Declarative sentences tell information about anything and they end with a period. For
Declarative sentences tells the information. Declarative sentences tells the
example,
information.
a dog is man's best friend.
For example, a dog is a man's best friend. So it gives the information that dogs are basically humans' best friend. It is something which is giving the information. So when a sentence is giving the information, or when sentence is something which is a kind of telling you information, then it forms a declarative sentences.
Here, we are telling an information based on experiences that a dog is always a best friend of man. The sandwich is very tasty. Here, we are telling an information about the taste of sandwich. She is a beautiful girl. Here, we are defining or informing the beauty of a girl. Notice, all of them end with a period. So,
Okay, look, the sandwich is very tasty. She is a beautiful girl. All these are things which gives you information.
declarative sentences just state facts. Let's look into
Declarative sentences states the facts.
next sentence type. Interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are used to ask a question. They end with a question mark.
Interrogative sentences are used to ask a question. They always ends with a question mark.
We use who, what, when, where, why and how, which are W5H words, while asking question. For example,
Look students, basically whenever interrogative comes, there should be a pop-up clouds which should come over, because it always says about where, who, what, how, when and why. That is basically the questions. Okay.
who are you? Where is my book? How are you? Will you be my friend? So whenever you are asking question, you are using an interrogative sentence.
Look, now the questions like who are you, where is my book, how are you, will you be my friend, all these are sentences which forms a question. Okay, so whenever they ask the question like who are you, where is my book, how are you, will you be my friend, all such words, all such things forms a interrogative sentence, because those sentences consist of a question mark, and they ask the question by in different form, like using who, where, how, and will. So whenever there is a presence of question mark, it forms an interrogative sentence.
Let's look into next type of sentence, imperative sentences. An imperative sentence gives command or asks for request.
Yes, imperative sentences either gives commands or ask for a request. Imperative sentences either give commands or ask for request.
They end with period or exclamation mark depending on how forcefully you say
Yes, either they end with a full stop or with the exclamatory word.
any sentence. If sentence is spoken more forcefully, an exclamation mark is used, otherwise a period is used.
If the sentence is used in a very forceful manner, then it is then exclamatory mark is used. But when it is a simple, then full stop is being used.
For example, put the key in the drawer. Wait for me. Please.
Look, put the key in the drawer. Now that is a command and it is a simple, therefore it ends with the full stop. Whereas wait for me, then there is a kind of expression, then it ends with the exclamatory mark.
Leave your footwear outside. So whenever you are giving any command or asking for any help or request, imperative sentences are used. Let's look into next and the final type of sentence, which are exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences are used to express strong emotions or feeling. They
Exclamatory sentences are used to express strong emotions or feelings. Exclamatory sentences are used to express very strong emotions or feelings.
end with a exclamation mark. When you are surprised
Of course,
or when you are happy or when you are angry, you use exclamation to
when you are surprised, when you are happy, or when you are angry, we use exclamatory expressions.
express your emotion. For example, that is a huge fish. Here we are expressing our emotion of surprise after seeing the size of fish.
That is a huge fish. Now here you are showing the surprise. That is a huge fish. So here there is expression of a surprise and therefore exclamatory mark is being used.
What a beautiful day. Here we are expressing our emotion of happiness.
What a beautiful day. Here we are expressing an emotion of happiness.
After having a very nice day. He is such a nice boy. Here we are expressing our emotion of satisfaction after meeting a very nice boy. So, exclamatory sentences are used in case of strong emotions or feeling. That's all about sentences in this video. Let's quickly revise what we have learned in this lesson. Firstly, we understood what a sentence is. Sentence is a group of words with three characteristics. It describes a complete thought. It must have a subject and a verb, though sometimes subject may be understandable. Third, and very important, every sentence may have different meaning or thought to convey. Then we discussed about four types of sentences based on different thoughts. First, declarative sentences, we just give information and end with a period sign. Second, interrogative sentences which are used to ask questions and end with a question mark. Third, imperative sentences which gives command or ask for request and end with a period or exclamation mark. And fourth, exclamatory sentences which expresses strong feelings or emotions and end with a exclamation mark. That's all in this video. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so this is what exclamatory sentences are about. Okay, this is what declarative sentences are about. This is what imperative sentences are about, and this is what interrogative sentences are about. I hope you would have understood it well. Okay, thank you so much, students. Have a very good day and stay blessed.